Hello, welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You're listening to the Business Showcase, the Business Lunch Hour, and we are so pleased to be here with you today. I am Cece Shatz, the Doyenne of Relationship Building, and I'm also the president of Going Solo Network and Date the Right One. And so we hope that you'll look for all of our information, which is on our website, which is Going Solo Network. .com, all of our information there, along with our Going Solo Media, which will catch all of our videos and all that we do. But we are so pleased to be with you today, bringing you tips for business, because it's so vital that we continue our business, especially in this new year that we have, and with all the stuff that's gone on in the past. So we want to make sure that we connect with each other and help move each other in a very positive way, which brings me to our wonderful guest we have today. I'm going to bring him right up here front and center so we see him. We have a wonderful guest today, John Morley. He's a marketing specialist, but let me tell you, he's not a marketing specialist. He's a jack of all trades, because he's a business leader in his own right. He's an engineer. He's a marketing specialist, as we said. He's also has his own talk show host. He's a video producer, a first responder, and he gives back to his community. He's also the president of Franklin Lakes Chamber. So what a wonderful treat to have you here with us today, John.
It is a pleasure to be here with you and your wonderful audience.
Oh, it is great having you. You know, when we have someone that's so brilliant as you are, that talks about business, that continuously gives back to their own community, to the people that that are around them, that surround them, we do want to put our hat on, and we want to just say what a great guy you are for giving back. Because so often you'll find in business, mentality years ago used to be, you just have to railroad, be the best that you can be, and you don't care about other people. But I think now our world's changing, and you've shown that, because you certainly do help individuals each and every day, because you do your own show, like a small show there on LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is awesome doing that. So tell us a little bit about, why did you start the marketing? And you do graphic design and also, the printing, and we said before, the video production. What started motivating you into going into this field?
Well, I started the IT company. I'd be over 33 years young in the IT company, JMOR connection. And I had advertising people that were doing my marketing, my advertising. In fact, I was paying them. My father was actually paying them, I should say, because I didn't have a job yet. And I was still in college. And one of my good friends at the time said, well, I can get you a great deal with this company. I'm not going to mention their name for professional reasons. And he said, we can get you with this company. I said, they charge a lot of money. Yeah, but my uncle knows someone, and his other guy works here as a friend, and we're going to get you like 60% off. Don't worry. So we went with this company for a long, long time. And what happened is they really didn't help us. So about 10 years back, I said, enough is enough. And I decided that I need to stop, letting these programs play in my head, which I had become certified in NLP and got my certification in hypnosis. And I said, I know how to do this. Why am I letting other people's programs run in my head that I don't want? And so I said, you know what, I got to do something about it. Maybe I'm not a marketer now. Maybe I'm not an advertiser now, but I could become one. And so I started on my journey. And that's when I decided, how do I become a small mom and pop print shop? Because it had to start there. And long story short, I met with Xerox. They were already actually with us because we're a client of theirs. And I wind up buying this machine for $100,000 after I get a loan from my bank. Start a second company. And then I walked back into this big marketing advertising company in New York. And I said to them, guys, knocked on the manager's office. I said, we had a great run and we're done. And thank you. He said, whoa. I said, thank you very, very much. We had a great run and we're done. He said, well, what are you talking about? I said, you're done. This is it. We're finished. Whoa, hold on. Do you want coffee? You want donut? You want a bagel or something? I don't want anything. Let me see if I can get Kevin in your account manager. Let me get him. Kevin, you have a minute? Mr. Morley is here, and I was just wondering if you could pop in. Oh, yeah, sure. He pops in. Hey, John, how are you? Nice to see you, buddy. Great. I got an amazing idea I want to share with you. Sharon's been working on it all week, and I can't wait to show it to you. And I said to him, I want to say thank you to you. He said, oh, you're welcome, buddy. It's a pleasure to work with you. And we're done. He said, what? I said, thank you very, very much. We had a great run and we're done. He's like, I think you said we're done. Yeah, I guess maybe I should say you're fired because I just fired your boss. I'm firing you. I'm firing your staff, Sharon, everybody that's on the case. Bro, what are you doing? I said, it's not working. He goes, that's low. That's below the belt. I said, taking my money for all these years and producing me no ROI, that's low. And he said to me, oh, yeah, but we have some great ideas. Listen, grab your coat. Let's go to Morgan's. Let's go get some breakfast. They have some great things for breakfast today. They got the special French toast you like. Let's grab your coat. Let's all go over. I'll get Sharon, and we can talk about this. I said, no, we're not talking about anything anymore. Oh, he's, I'll tell you what we're going to do. He's like, I'm probably going to lose my shirt for this, but here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to give you 30% off any new business you do with us today going forward. And probably going to get fired for this, 30% off any previous bills you've already paid with us. No. He goes, you drive a hard bargain, John. I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm probably going to lose my job for this. But, I like you so much, like you are my own son. We're going to give you, please don't fire me, 60% off all of your new work and any of your past bills. I said, no. He said, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to another company. Well, who? The people down the street, they're horrible. And the people across the street, they're worse than we are. You don't even want to deal with them. I could tell you stories. I said, we're going with a little tiny company that's across the street from me. Oh, where? In Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. Well, where? I don't know any printing companies over there. Well, they're new. They just started out. Oh, they probably know what they're doing. I said, well, they're new, but I want to give them a shot. The owner seems really nice. And he says, well, who's the owner there? And I kind of say my name under the breath. He says, who was the owner? And he said, that's you? I said, yeah, I started a full print production, graphic, media, and digital sign company. Oh, John. He says, we got to sit down, buddy. We got to talk. You don't know what you're doing. Like, you're a great guy, and I know you have these visions, but trust me, I want to help you so you don't fail. I said, well, if I fail a year or two, and then I'll learn, and then I'll grow. Yeah, but you don't want to do that. We've had hundreds of years experience. I said, yes, I know, taking my money and doing nothing with it. And he just like, all right, well, you can go that way. He comes back to me a couple of years after we're successful. He says, you know what I want to do? I want to help you because, this is a lot of work for you and you don't know this field. Sharon, I want to come over and we want to take some of your clients and we want to provide the services that they really should be getting. And you can keep your brand on it. I said, why the heck would I do that? I'm going to take my clients that I work so hard and a reputation to build, give them over to you so you can screw them up. I said, I have an idea. Why don't we take some of your clients that are basically ready to leave you anyway and turn around their campaign, give them an ROI and show them that they're actually going to get some money from the campaign and make them happy. And then they'll actually stay with you. How's that for a concept? Well, John, that's a little bit above my pay grade. I'd have to run that by Greg. He's the one that has to make that decision. I can't make that call. And then what got me into this is because I wanted to be able to do things now. If I have an idea in the morning, I want to get that idea produced. And sometimes I'll do this. I'll turn on the machine at 2 a.m, send it off remotely to my office, and it'll be waiting when I get there in the morning. And so I like the idea of being able to do things now. Advertising companies lots of times will make this whole saga of, well, we got to wait, we got to do this. Even when they were printing a thing for me, they kept telling me there was this problem, there was that problem. Then they told me the deadline was changed. And if I want to change the deadline, it's a $500 fee because my deadline's different than their deadline. My deadline's over 1 day earlier than their deadline. But if I want to change it, then they got to charge me. But they're not even printing it themselves. They're sending it somewhere else. So I said, I just had enough. And what really got me was in the very beginning, this was probably in the first 2 or 3 years, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. You're working with the wrong firm when they decide where to take you for lunch, breakfast, or dinner based on the deposit you give them. Now, let me just explain. Let's say I'm going to use arbitrary numbers. I'm going to pay you $100. Okay? I'm going to say $100. You're going to take me maybe to breakfast in the morning, like a simple little diner breakfast. Let's say I give you $250. Well, we're going to go take you to Bennigan's, or we're going to take you to one of those places you can have lunch and dessert. But let's say I give you $1,000, and these are arbitrary amounts. We're going to go to Ruth Chris. Well, one time I said to the lady in the office, Sharon, I'm going to send you $100. She said, oh, that's great. And then all of a sudden, I didn't send her to the $100. I sent her more than that. And she's like, I had to call you, our other exec, Brian, who's going to be taking you. I says, Brian actually can't make breakfast. And you were scheduled for breakfast. He asked if we could do Ruth Chris instead. Because Tommy and Paul, I said, I really don't know them. Well, anyway, that's Brian and Sarah's kids. I said, I don't know them. He says, well, anyway, they're sick and they got to go to the doctor. And Sarah just got into an accident a few weeks ago. They only have one car. So Brian needs to take him to the doctor at 8:00 in the morning. So he can't make your appointment. And then Paul's coming in, our district manager, and he's got to have all the reports ready. He's not going to be even ready to breathe until at least 6:00. So that's why he said, let's just do a nice quiet dinner at Ruth Chris. And then they played this around. So I just realized I was being played. And it's not nice, but big companies do this to small companies for whatever reason. So what I like to tell people, regardless of what I'm helping them, whether it's my IT company or whether it's the marketing company or whether it's my serial entrepreneur company or other companies I own, I say, look, I'm going to tell you the truth. You may not like what I'm going to share with you, but I'm going to tell you the truth right now. And this is what you need to do. This is what you shouldn't be doing. Even if you don't hire me, this is what you need to do. Right now, for the new year, we're doing a special because we know people want to get jobs. So we started this promotion called New Year, New You. And the nice thing about New Year, New You is we gave somebody a way for us to look at their resume, tweak it up a little bit, whether it's online or whether it's just a digital Word document in LinkedIn or whatever it is. And then we also offer them the ability to meet with one of us virtually or in person to have a coaching interview or to have a mock interview. So we try to do, and then we offer the ability to print it out. So I think this is what people need right now. They need confidence. They might have a great resume, but they might not have the skills to sell themselves. And it's sad to me when I learned that they can't do this because they didn't have the practice, and nobody teaches you this stuff in school.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I realized that I had a passion in marketing, taking over the chamber probably over 5 years ago, and I already had the company under my belt a few years. I started becoming the leader for marketing, advertising, and again, donating all my services to the chamber because I really wanted to bring the community together. The people that ran the chamber prior to me, well, let's just say they stole, cheat, robbed, and every one of their kids had a scholarship. And they all could afford school. But it's funny that everybody on the board had a scholarship. So you know what I did? I threw them out. And I brought a whole new board in. That's not something you want to do, but sometimes, you have to clean house.
Right.
And I think if you're, not doing something, you're enabling the other person. Or if I tell you what you want to hear, then I'm enabling you and I'm actually doing something that's bad for you. And the worst thing I could do is take your money and tell you I'm going to do something with it when I can't. I had an author come to me, says, John, he says, I want to get known. I said, well, we can help you with that. But I just realized something. You have 2 LinkedIn profiles. That's not copacetic. Oh, yeah. I'll talk to you about that. That's complicated. Well, why do you have 2 profiles? Well, you see, I'm the vice president here of sales at this medical company. Okay. And I'm also the author of the book. Okay. And I'm being a coach. Okay. Yeah, well, I can't let my company know that I'm doing that business. So what happens if I get you press? Yeah, I know. That's going to be a challenge. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm making an executive decision. We're not working with you. No, you're kidding me. No, you have to. I can't risk the fact that now I get you coverage and I have to worry. Yeah, we'll change the name. I said, no. We're not going to play with a false name. We're not going to play with a false profile. We're not going to play with just a company. We're just not going to do that. Yeah, can you do it without showing my face? No. All right. I guess I got to think this through a little more. You got to think it through a lot more.
Yeah.
And
That
make a
happened to me, John. When I first started, I was working for a healthcare company and I was starting to do the radio and I decided, okay, I'll get on LinkedIn and I'll put my information on LinkedIn, but I didn't put the information about the insurance company. I just put it about me and the radio and my coaching and all of that I did. And so I was a little bit worried, like the gentleman was saying, a little bit worried that, my company would find out and they would feel like it's an interference, right? That it's something that I'm doing outside. I'm doing it completely outside of work, and that they would get upset with me. Well, it turned around. They found out about it, and they thought it was community service, and so they supported me doing it. And
see, that went the right way.
Yeah.
You don't know though how it's going to go, and if it doesn't go, you were lucky. If it doesn't go that way, sometimes corporate, you can't think what they're going to say. And before I even got into my company full-time, my IT company full-time, when I graduated college, I took a job part-time at a government agency, being a TCS, TSC, Technical Services Coordinator. And I realized after being there a few years, and I was 2 months from being fully vested, I walked into, I'll call it Maria's office. That's not her name. And I said, Maria, I said, I want to say thank you. This has been fun. Oh, you're welcome. We had a great run and we're done. That's the first time I used it. And she says, John, what are you talking about? I said, Maria, this is my very, very last day with you. Well, John, you've only got 4 more days to get vested. I said, you know what? The money doesn't matter to me. When I do something that I'm passionate about, money's going to flow into me anyway. And she's like, wow. Well, we'll miss you. So I'm sure you will. And good luck. And I walked out, and a lot of people that were not treating me very well said, John, we're having an issue with that. And this is I said, I understand. She said, well, if you don't fix it today, you can come back tomorrow. I said, no, I can't. Well, yeah, you'll be here tomorrow. Well, what time you come in? I said, I'm not. Well, will you come in the next day? Because I was a part-time employee. She's like, no. Well, when are you coming in? Well, I'm not. I'm done today. Oh, they fired you. I'm so sorry. No, I quit. Oh. All right. Well, just do what you can, and we'll get somebody to figure it out. I talked to my manager. My manager, I tell him last. He's like, what's this I hear that you're leaving? Yeah, Paul, it's not a good fit for me. You're great people, but our personalities, our dichotomies, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm not meant to be at a government company. You know that. I know that. I was just trying to do what I needed to in the middle of time till I could get my company going. And it just seems like this isn't the right fit. So I want to do what's best for everybody, which is to leave, and you can get somebody full-time. You can pay them a lot less money than me, and you could do what you need to do, and I can get on with my life.
Back on, John. Hello.
Hello. Did we lose you? Hello.
There we go.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, sometimes we have trouble with the internet because all the streaming that we do, it's crazy.
I'm not sure where I lost you. So basically I had said that, that I quit, and they were just so surprised. I said, now you can go hire somebody for even less money that you should be paying anymore. And you can make them think that this is the greatest thing, getting them right out of college, and you could treat them however you want. And they're probably going to stay with you because they have to. You see, I don't need to, because I have a vision. I have a passion.
Right.
And I know where I'm going. In fact, my company's already started. I just have been doing it part-time. And they were just they knew something was up with me, but they couldn't say it because I'm allowed to run a part-time company that's outside of their hours. They were just very in your business. Well, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm busy.
Yeah, I've had that in my lifetime too. But I think it comes a point in our lives where we have to, draw a line in the sand, and we have to say, this is what I'm going to do for me, and move forward. And sometimes we take a risk. I mean, I know we do sometimes take a risk on our employment, but we have to do. I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to do this when we come back. I wanted to ask you about the new wave of now audio, because where everything's going audio, and one of the things I was looking at, with the trends that we're setting for 2022, it talked a lot about how everybody is going now to streaming, and they're doing, they're getting on Google Business, and they're getting on all these various things, and the rise. This one article I was reading, it says the rise of voice search is very important. Your voice search has on all these devices now, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa, all of those things. So, that's the new wave of 2022. And so let's talk a little bit about the actual marketing itself. And, when we come back from our break. Okay.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. And the point is that a lot of people think that this is the way to go. And I know it's a buzz right now, but I have to tell you, it's a big security violation. Huge security violation. They are not protecting your information the way you would expect. So I actually stay out of those services purposely because they sell them to third parties. And so anytime you use third-party systems, you always want to know what their cookie policy is, what the security policy is. There was a doll given to a kid a few years ago. And do you know that they actually had a security breach because the doll was getting controlled by a hacker? Well, because they used a PIN that was non-existent, and now it's asking Melissa all these questions. And suddenly,
I think
Melissa's sharing everything, where she goes, what school, what time her parents come home.
Well, there are ways to get around that. We can talk about that when we come back. So we're going to take a quick break. So everyone, before we go, I want to make sure you guys have his contact information, John Morley's contact information. Let's see. We're having trouble with our internet here. But you want to go to link, and it's called Linktree, right? Is it linktr.ee? And then look up his name. So
and it's / it's John C. Morley, JOHNCMORLEY, serial entrepreneur, right after the link tree.
Yeah. So make sure you guys do that, because it's got every single bit of his contact information there, which we couldn't possibly put it on here. So we want to make sure you have that. So you guys stick around. We're going to be back in just a minute, and we're just going to pay some bills and get some stuff done, do a little homework like we always have to do sometimes. But we love you, and we'll be back, and we're going to give you some great information on business marketing when you come back. So we'll be right back. Well, welcome back. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Please forgive me. I have a cold, so I had to put something in my mouth, a lozenge, so I don't cough on you. But we are an internet radio station. We do live streaming radio, live streaming TV. And we're so thankful to have you here with us today on the Business Showcase. And we have our wonderful guest here with us. We're talking about marketing strategy for 2022. We have our guest, John C. Morley here. He's a marketing specialist, but he's a jack of all trades. He's a business owner himself. He helps other small businesses. He's an engineer, marketing specialist again. He's a talk show host, a video producer. He's a first responder, and he does help his community as president of the chamber in Franklin Lakes. And we are honored to have him here with us today because his wealth of knowledge is tremendous with regards to marketing and helping you grow your business. And I'm sure that John would be happy to help any business out there if you need his services. Well, let's put up how they can get a hold of you. You want to tell everyone?
Sure. You can just go to Linktree. That's linktr.ee. And that's going to be the slash that points to the right, / JOHNCMORLEY, and then the word serial entrepreneur, SERIALENTREPRENEUR.
Great. Now, before we took our break, we were talking a little bit about the audio, and you were saying that it's kind of unsafe now because, privacy and all of that you get out there. One way you can do a little bit of business on these type of services is put your podcast on a station like mine, where you're under the umbrella of us and your private information is really kind of linked in with us, and they're not able to actually, get your actual information. You're on our basic channel. So those are some of the things that you can think about. It's kind of joining some of the bigger companies and, hooking up with them so that you can get your information out there. People can hear you, but your privacy is still a little bit intact.
The biggest challenge we were talking about was we actually had on my show a while back. It was the person was given a doll for the holidays. Mm-hmm. And the challenge is that when these toy makers make these things, they don't think about security. And it was linking to an iPhone. And basically somebody hacked into a website that was able to control the doll and speak to it, as opposed to the doll itself. And the child didn't know what was going on. The parents didn't know what was going on. And law enforcement didn't know what was going on until the person showed up at the school and caused a very serious altercation. Luckily, it was stopped. But still, nobody needs to go through that. So when you buy a product, you need to make sure, even things like whether they're their IV pumps, I deal a lot with the healthcare industry. There was a hack that was out just about a year ago. It's been fixed. Anything in the iOS, Internet of Things, IoT. And so there was a hack out there that somebody could go in and literally change the dosage or stop your IV pumps from running or overdose them or things like that. So IoT is really great. But I say when you have things like, I'm not even a fan of a smart house. In my house, I have things that are technologically advanced, but they don't link to everything. Everything links in the house. The only thing that links is my cameras. Everything else can only be controlled through the tablets in the house, no Wi-Fi, and through the control panels. I don't want anything getting out because there's always that possibility that the software from the manufacturer from the smart homes is not secure.
Oh, absolutely. Right? I mean, even me with the camera here on the computer, I cover it up. So I make sure that at least is covered, or we unplug everything and make sure that, it can't be audio, it can't be out. But yeah, you do have to be smart nowadays with internet and all that's happening, because there's always someone else smarter than you out there.
What's that one commercial out? The guy comes and says, "Oh yeah, and I actually, honey, I just gave your social security number, and that's how I got free parking." Yeah, well, I gave your brother's address, and that's how I got this free robe. Oh yeah, well, I gave your mother's home account number, and they sent me a year full of peanuts or something. And so people don't realize, is it really worth the freedom? And I always say nothing is free, right? I don't mean that in a bad sense. I just mean you got to be cognizant. What is the tie to it? What is the catch? Because there sometimes is a catch when you see something that comes over there and they're asking something from you. That's a problem. I mean, you can get products a lot cheaper in the store if you agree to install an app on your phone and let them track you every time you use it. So I think the biggest problem right now is our marketing is getting digital and it's getting personal. Look what happened with the 2-letter company with F. Now they changed their name to M. They're not playing any games. They really are. They're just trying to get around and build a new reputation, but they're not fooling anybody, at least
Right.
most of us. They think they are. I mean, when they did things with the different social medias and what they did to kids and how they exploited them, I mean, they say, oh, it was a mistake, but then we had the whistleblower. So I think everybody tries to get away with things with these big companies. And then when they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they become that reverse liar. The one that says, oh, that wasn't us. No, we didn't even know that was happening. Come on. That's like the lady a few weeks ago we had in town, a town, I should say, away from us. A lady is 40-some years old, and there was a party in the house, but she said she didn't know anything about it. Alarm went off in the middle of the night when they were having a party to say there was something with the CO2. So the fire department responded, the police. They came out. Of course, nothing was really wrong. They were probably doing something they shouldn't have been doing. They came in, and there are 40-some people in the basement. They go upstairs to see the lady. She says, I don't know what's going on. She says, I was just getting ready for bed. I was taking my medicine. I don't even know what my son's doing.
Uh-oh.
So now she's now going before not just one judge, but 2 judges, because 2 towns are now, actually 3 towns now, are going after her with 3 different complaints. She knew what was going on. And chances are she's done this before. So I always say to people, when it comes to technology, we have, I'd say, a duty to use our technology right. Whether we're talking about technology, a weapon, you can use something in a good manner. You can use something in a bad manner, right?
Right.
And so, and we have cases of bad manners, people cyber stalking people. Good manners are using it for education, finding a job, blogging in a good sense. But I think people have to understand that when somebody says no, whether online or in person, that no means no. Because we're home and safe behind our computer doesn't mean that we can just do whatever we want because we feel we're protected. Whether we're the victim or the victimee, that's something to think about. Oh, I'm just on my computer. No one's ever gonna bother me. I don't know if you guys will know this, but your IP addresses are recorded.
Oh, sure.
When you make purchases, I mean, we do this on all of our sites. We track the IP and we let people know we're tracking them. And we do that to let people know that we are going to take action. And I think a lot of people don't understand or realize how that happens. When you're dealing with somebody that has a disposable phone, you obviously know they're probably not somebody you can be trusted. But yet lots of people give them their credit card. I had a senior about a year or 2 ago, very smart lady. Her husband died. And they said, oh, we need you to open up a bank account, the online version. She did it. She lost her entire savings.
It's hard. I mean, you really do have to you have to think that, something going to happen. So you have to think twice about what you do. And of course, we do a lot of online dating. So we encourage those to be safe. Don't give out their phone numbers, use a Google number, various different things like that you can do. And I know
you can sign up for
emails.
You can sign up for a temporary email or a temporary this. And I encourage people to do that, especially when they're doing a dating thing, because now if something doesn't go right, you can just suddenly delete that number.
Right.
And that's a great way. People say, well, that's not my real number. Well, I won't give it to you until we've been dating for 6 months or a year. And that gives you some peace of mind. I also tell people, don't meet at your home, at least not for the first 3 or 4 dates. Like go somewhere public, go somewhere with friends. Go somewhere where there's people you know and trust. So if you have to call on one of them, you can. And always have your phone handy. Okay, you have the one-touch 911, and you also have the ability to get these little devices now. You can just press them, and they emit a very loud noise. So the times
there's a lot of different things that you can do now to be safe with it. But you have to be smart. I mean, that's the thing that we drop our guard down, and we need to be smart about things. Think twice about what you do. Like you said, I'm inundated with emails. I mean, I open up my email in the morning and I get, I'm sure, a couple hundred emails that I could care less about, but that's just the world of business nowadays.
It's changing a little bit, right? It's changing where things are. And that's the big thing. We have to be cognizant of what we're doing and what other people are doing. I'm not saying to be paranoid, right? 9/11 happened, right? Are we paranoid after 9/11? No, but we're a little bit more untrusting of things, especially when we go to an airport. I wouldn't say we're like doing this every 5 seconds, but even with the COVID situations of people are a little panicky, right? And so that's going to take some time before that kind of filters out. And I think everything in life is really a set of stages.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rush people out of a stage or into a stage if they're not ready, because if you do, they're either going to hate you for it, or they're going to build a false reputation on you. And then when they discover the truth about you, what your real motives are, they're never going to talk to you again.
Right.
So, and that goes in personal or business. So I just think when we get into marketing, I think a lot of people have this magic bullet. And I say, look, I don't have a magic bullet.
Mm-hmm.
I can help you understand your business. I can come up with a plan. And my plan's not $80,000 like a lot of marketing people say. You got to get something and understand it. And if the person can't make you understand what you're going to do, and they put you down, that's not somebody you want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's every company that I had been with. They put me down as a customer. Oh, you don't know marketing. You don't advertise. You're never going to know that. And I realized I don't want to be treated that way. I don't want to treat clients that way.
Right. And I know, like for us, you know, we do marketing too, and we've hired a couple different companies over the time. And the first thing they want to do is rebuild your website. You know, it's like, forget it. I mean, it's good enough. The website's good enough. And that's something I think that we have to think about when we're in business, small business. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can tweak it as you go along, you know.
Sure, absolutely.
Get something up there, get something going, you know, and then move forward. If I waited for everything to be perfect, I wouldn't even be here today, you know, doing what I'm doing.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think the big thing is when you mentioned about the website. So yes, the website could be better, but I think the most important thing is making sure the website is structurally sound. Forget about how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to be found on the website? You know,
Mm-hmm.
is the strategy, is the inner workings of it correct? Or does it have a whole bunch of errors that are blocking pages? So I think that's the thing that happens. But most marketing companies don't look at it from a technical perspective, like, oh, we just got to redesign it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it going to work? Well, we'll worry about that later. And I think that's something you got
ticket, because it's a big ticket item. So right away they want to zing you for this. And so, but you're right on just making sure that it functions the way it should. And it may function and then turn around and not function the way it should. So we have to keep checking it, keep doing it. And another thing too, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned is that we should all, if we're in business, we should all have our LinkedIn, our LinkedIn profile up to date, and we should keep tweaking it. Even myself, sometimes I have to go and I go, oh wow, I need to update this, you know, because things are evolving and happening with us.
Absolutely. And in LinkedIn, for those of you that don't know whether you're a free member or not, in the free member, you have the ability to turn on whether you want to accept open connections or basically have connections only be requesting. So LinkedIn is not a spam garden. If you do that, they're going to shut you down. And you have to realize that it's a tool. And you have the right that you can actually, so one of the things I do on my profile is my full name. Well, people know my name, but I don't show my whole information unless they've connected with me. My picture or anything. Because just knowing my first name and my first initial, there's a lot of people with that name. How do they know that's me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think you got to make sure that that's done correctly. And I think you also have to be cognizant of who you click on. If somebody's clicking on you from another country and they want something from you, I usually say to them, hey, you know, thanks so much for reaching out to me. What was it that made you want to connect with me? I'm so happy you connected me with me today. Oh, I want to talk with you about. Oh, I love your profile. Oh, I'm so happy. What is it specifically in my profile that just caught your attention? Said, I got to connect with John today. Oh, you know, man, there's so many things in your profile. I just love what you're doing. But what? Well, like everything you're doing. Which things? You know, just like lots of stuff. You're just very good. You're very intelligent. Okay, you know what, sir? I appreciate your time. I don't think we're a match. Oh, okay. Block.
Mm-hmm.
And I do tell people, look, don't just do a connection request with me. Send a request first, because I block people when they just connect with me if they don't know me. Yeah, I want an interaction with them.
That's true. I always, if I'm going to connect with someone, I always send them a message when I'm connecting with them.
Even in some of these networking groups online, which I don't do too many of them, I mostly now do in person. They're like, oh, well, you're in this group and you're a co-host. I said, I don't care. I said, doesn't mean that you have the right to just send me stuff. I had a guy just before your show that sent me somebody says, "Oh, I want to show you about my digital business card." I said, "Thank you, and I have no interest."
Mm-hmm.
And most people will understand that. There are some people that don't. I had a credit card guy. He called me up in the LinkedIn. He's like, "Oh, John," he's like, "So how's your credit card situation?" I said, "It's great." Well, listen, I say people lots of money. I said, "Okay, I'll keep it in mind." He goes away, comes back 5 minutes later, says, he says, "You're going to kick yourself when you find out how much money I would have saved you if you actually did business with me." I said, "I'm not interested." It took me 5 minutes to get rid of him. I was trying to be polite with him. At the end of the thing, I said, "Look," I said, "buddy, you're not getting it." I said, "I've tried to be nice to you. I'm now going to not only block you, but because you're harassing me, I'm going to report your profile to LinkedIn admins." Then he comes back and says, "Look, I apologize. It's too late." I said, your candor, your zealousness for business came off so rudely that you didn't even take a genuine interest in me. Why should I suddenly believe you? And why would I ever refer you business? If you come on this strong to me, how are you going to come on to my friends and clients? No. I'm all good. No. I'm just having a rough day. I got to make my numbers. Yeah, but what if you have a rough day next month?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say goodbye, and I'm gonna block you, and I wish you all the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, John, our time has gone by so quickly. So let's make sure we have everyone knows everything that you do. Again, John C. Morley. He is a business owner. He helps other businesses. He's an engineer, marketing specialist, talk show host. He does a lot of shows on LinkedIn, so you can find him there. Video producer, first responder, and then he helps his local chamber. He's the president there at Franklin Lake. So you guys check him out if you're anywhere near him. I'm sure he'd love to meet you in person. And then let's share how they can get a hold of you, John.
Sure. So the easiest way, and we always update different content that we publish, you can go to linktr.ee, and that's /JOHNCMORLEY, serial, SERIAL, entrepreneur, ENTREPRENEUR. And everyone always asks me, "John, are you going to write a book?" And I'm finally happy to tell you the answer is yes. I've started writing it. It'll be out in a few months, and my company's going to publish it. It's called 25 Gifts of Inspiration to Change Your Life and Everyone Else in It.
Wow, that's going to be a great book. It's going to be a fantastic book. And then we're going to be able to find this on Amazon, right?
We're not sure if we're going to put it on Amazon. We're going to self-publish. We are going to be in Barnes & Noble and a few stores, but we're not sure if we're going to go on Amazon. We may want to keep it very select, and we're going to approach a lot of the bookstores direct, like Amazon, like Barnes & Noble.
You can self-publish on Amazon. You can do a self-publish.
So we're self-publishing, meaning that we're publishing in our center. So we're going to print the books here. Some people say self-publish means they print it for you.
Right.
We're going to print it for ourselves in-house.
Okay. That's exciting. That's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
I love the idea that you can actually control that yourself too, which is really cool. So therefore, if anyone else out there is looking to write a book, I'm sure John can help them with that also. So that's good, need to know information. So that's awesome.
Well, it was a pleasure to be with you and your audience today.
And having you. Yeah, you're a delight. So thank you so much for the tips and everything you've given us today here on marketing. So I hope everyone out there, if you're looking at doing your business or increasing your business or really revamping your business, please know that John C. Morley is here to help you, and he would be happy to do so. So definitely reach out to him and touch base and let him know what you're doing, and then you guys can put your heads together and see if there's a meeting of the minds that you could actually work together. That would be great.
I leave you with this last thought before we go, and that is, if you have not already, take a journal out and write 300 things down that you want this year. Not 300 things that you think you can get, 300 things that you want. And every month, go through that a few times and review it. At the end of the year, you're going to be very surprised at how many things you can check off that list.
That's exciting. That's a great tip. That's a very exciting to be able to do that, because, we have the whole year, right? So whatever's happening now can change as we evolve. So I'm excited about that. Well, thank you again, John. We appreciate your time. All right. Take care. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am Cece Shatz, the Doyenne of Relationship Building and the president of Going Solo Network and Date the Right One. We're so honored to have you here with us. If you want to look at any of our shows, they're right there on goingsolomedia.com. And we'll catch you back here on the Business Showcase Lunch Hour. Bye for now.